Priya Sehgal also on the broadcast with us. Priya, so let me rope you in quickly. So now here we are. I'm sure you've heard the Prime Minister's speech. What do you make of it?
Very interesting, Rishabh, and also setting out, he countered all the opposition charges. Until now, he hadn't been, but, he pointed out to the fact that, this whole concept of Jativad or the narrative that the Congress and the opposition want to take for 2024 is really has been a no-starter, first of all. Secondly, he also highlighted, he gave the BJP a theme for the next elections, which is Modi ki guarantee. If you notice, the minute he walked in, they were shouting Modi ki guarantee.
They picked the slogan. Yeah, I think from Modi hai to Mumkin hai has now become Modi to guarantee, Modi ki guarantee.
And you know why? Because of Rahul's charge of Modi hai, Punauti hai, bad luck hai, whatever. So he had to counter that charge. So he came with the charge of credibility to say that he's not a bad token, but actually he is someone who delivers, who guarantees. And he said in his first speech, जो guarantee है वो Modi की guarantee is even all the more सोने पे सुहागा because it delivers. We make our thing stand. So he is now going on the plank of credibility. He already outlined his caste model that is going to be women, the poor, the economically backward. It's not the old-fashioned caste model, but the way he sees the society is divided into sections that need help. And he also again Rishabh pointed out the fact that women, Nari Shakti, was the main theme of his thing. It's helped the BJP in Madhya Pradesh, especially the Ladli Behna scheme. And now Modi's always had the woman vote, even for his own 2014 campaign. If you remember, It was a huge turnout of the women. Triple Talaq, all his schemes have been women-oriented. The Ujjwala scheme. So he's again highlighted that in his scheme, in his speech. So the speech was a lot of roadmaps for the future, plus the fact that he's now talking development. He's not talking Hindutva. So we all know when he goes to the field, there's a different talk. But for the time being, this is what the BJP is going to be talking about.
Okay, so but in a real sense, is there anything the Congress can do, or are we just living in the Modi era? And so be it. No matter what scheme you cook up, a promise or effort or yatra you do, it's Modi's time. You can try to make a dent, but that's all that's going to happen.
Rishabh, minute this results came in, I was talking to a Congress leader. He's saying, "Chalo, Rahul na apni yatra phir se shuru kar rahe hain." And the reaction was, what did he achieve by this? What did he achieve by the first yatra? Yes, it was a learning for him, but what did he do with that learning? Did he implement it? All the people came and spoke to him. They poured their hearts out. He did have a connect. He met people, but what did he do with that? He's not walking as an NGO. He's walking as a politician. So you take the learnings, you take the feedback from the people and implement it. You're not in government, but you can say it in your manifesto. You can say some schemes. You can come up and use the feedback in a positive sense. That is the chance that Rahul Gandhi missed. So if he's going to do another yatra, well, all the best to him. He'll have to do a little more than just yatras, because this Modi juggernaut is really steamrolling its way through. But having said that, Rishabh, just one point, if I may add, is we are seeing this as a semi-final. We are saying, 2024 is all but written. Not really, because the states where these elections have been held in the north, the BJP is already peaked in Madhya Pradesh. It's already peaked in Rajasthan. It's already
near peaked in Chhattisgarh. Yeah, Chhattisgarh too. Yeah.
Yeah. So in Chhattisgarh too, correct. So they need to actually make to further their thing, consolidate and expand. They needed the south. So the Telangana loss is a big one for the BJP. Whether in terms of new numbers, in terms of optics, they've regained the north, but they already had the north for 2024.
Fair enough.
For 2024, they needed new bastions.
So fair enough. I'm pretty sure if they can repeat 2019, they'll be more than happy. But the point Priya is making is, once you already have cent percent or near cent percent, you can't improve on it. It's only downhill from there. So you have cent percent in Delhi, Haryana, Gujarat, Rajasthan, near cent percent in UP, in Madhya Pradesh. Even in Telangana, they got a few MPs. They had more MPs from Telangana than they did MLAs. So mathematics is also ruthless.
Karnataka.
Yeah. So the reason this India alliance exists is because of the ruthlessness of mathematics. Mathematics tells you that the BJP got just about 40% of the vote, which means that if everybody else did their maths right, they could defeat them. But they never are able to do their maths right. At least we haven't seen it in 10 years. Vineet Goenka joining us on the broadcast as well, and BB Joshi is joining us. He represents the Samajwadi Party. Shekhar Vijayan is still with us. Shekhar, let me come to you before I come to the politicians. So, there are the obvious conversations, but I was having a larger rubric of a conversation about where is India, where are we going, who are we, what do we correlate this era as? Is this the 1920s and 30s of America? And you have a FDR
It's a lovely example.
who came in again and again and again and again because he kept implementing. Is that the correlation? What is the correlation? Or are we our own story right now?
Rishabh, I think that's a lovely example you gave about FDR, but I think I would correlate that to what the Honorable Prime Minister keeps telling us. This is the Amrit Kal. This is the moment for India to shine. Not just to shine, just to be resilient and keep, powering on. I think everything is running on autopilot mode. You have to be stronger than ever right now, both internally and externally. And I think that's the entire mood of the nation. And I think this win also represents what the nation thinks of in terms of confidence, in terms of resilience, in terms of passion, in terms of being Atmanirbhar. And I think his war cry, in terms of saying it's Modi ki guarantee, says it all. He tells it with a lot of passion, with a lot of fervor.
But Shekhar, I'll take a couple of
that energy, that enthusiasm.
I'm going to take an effort of not be rhetorical and do anecdotal, since that people can understand. So Shekhar, we did it about 6 months ago. I think the Oscars were happening. So I told my team, what is this? Yeah, we get super excited. Oscar. There's some American thappa that is given to our movie, and we are thinking, we have arrived. So I said, why don't we organize our own version of the Oscars, the biggest film awards? So there was, a pretty well-known personality sat on our TV channel and scoffed at the idea that we won't be taken seriously, we'll be laughed at all over the world. This same individual, when Nita Ambani organized that cultural center and all these Hollywood celebrities were roaming around because she called them, he was there with them, because the thing is, if you build it, they will come. No. If you have the auqat, they will take you seriously.
Absolutely.
No. So you have to have self-belief, because you think, arey yaar, fashion mein they laugh at us, movies mein they laugh at our songs. We are a joke. The thing is, are we still a joke?
No, I don't think so. I think we are anything but a joke, but the joke is on the world, not on us. I think everybody wants something from India right now. I think India is in a position to just look at everybody and say, this is what we are capable of. And I think this represents in India. I think we should not take a step back. We just have to keep moving on, soldiering on, keep moving forward. I think that's the best way to deal with it. And
so where is Modi fitting into that? Who is he right now in that context?
I genuinely believe Modi is a catalyst. Modi is the binary based on which everything is happening. Like you said earlier, we needed somebody in this century, in this generation, to come and hold us Indians and say, you know what, this is a direction I can show you. And Modi has that ability, has that charisma, has the direction, and he's doing it with all the power he has. See, we know for a fact, your generation or my parents' generation, they know for a fact that this man doesn't sleep. This man works hard. This man doesn't go on vacation. If there's something you cannot detest him on, is his sincerity and his passion for work, and that's something which everybody likes.
I like to apply my mind to things. Okay, that's my freedom. You can get everywhere, but you can't get into my mind, right? I want to see things, and I want it to make sense to me. I wanted to see that this happened. Okay, and I'm viciously proud of my country. I'm really, it really matters. Yeah. It really, sinks in. And if something bad happens, I'm not talking about World Cup losses. If something bad happens, it brings tears to my eyes, and you feel, embarrassed and humiliated. So it feels really bad when you have Indian leaders who are sitting and talking what is nonsense, that there is a genocide about to happen in this country, and we are divided between North and South, and we are talking about 50. India is different. It is different. It's fundamentally different. Okay. Yeah, so let me get Vineet Goenka into this. Vineet ji, you are semi-politician, semi-technocrat. You spent time wearing multiple hats. I know it is a good day for any fan of Narendra Modi. But what about the fans of India? Where is India right now? In which an opposition has a very important role. They have to be very prickly, difficult, pain in the behind, constantly at it. That's their job also. Should we grudge them for doing their job?
Rishabh ji, Ram Ram to you, Ram Ram to all the panelists and audience who are watching me right now. Today is a day when the youth of India, the women of India, through these 4 states have communicated clearly. People who believe in development, people who believe in positiveness will win. Those who want to divide the society on the caste line, those who want to divide the society on the religious basis will be defeated. So it is a positive vote for the progress, vote for the policies of the government. I think this has sent a message across the world across the globe that India is going to be more powerful, positive, and industry is welcome here. See one simple change, what happened in Rajasthan. Women was in center. It was discussed, and women rejected the negative publicity, negative propaganda, negative talk about of the opposition. I think this is going to be very, very good. Number two, when you get decisive ballots in the states, in the provinces, internationally your image goes very right, and that helps commerce, that helps technology to go up. So I think what has happened in the last 9 years, 6 months is a very positive story, and we will look forward for a golden era for India.
Should we be afraid of Narendra Modi having too much power, another 5 years, becoming, in a different orbit? Surely for any human being there is a thing as too much power. Should the country be afraid? Because in 10 years, I have not been able to see something that we should be afraid of. But who can predict the future? There are many people who just think, whether they like Modi or don't like Modi, they just think too much power for too long is bad for you. What do we say to them?
See, human beings, and especially the people who live in a democracy like ours, always have a liberty to discuss whatever. But we have not seen in the last 9.5 years any incidents of favoritism, any incidents of appeasement. That speaks a volume. So when these schemes were being implemented, nobody asked what is your name. There was no Salma, there was no Sarita, no Sylvia, no Supinder. The schemes were for everybody, and that gives you confidence. Unlike the 1975 era, when emergency was implemented ruthlessly, the rights of the human beings were taken away. I think, barring that 1.5 years, we never had this kind of situation. But when you have a leader like Narendra Modi, who has vision and also a team to implement things, then you are assured that it will change. Let me give you 2, 3 examples. Did you and I ever think that the quality of the roads will improve? I had an opportunity to drive myself from Noida to Kishangarh 3, 4 days back, and the speed limit there was 120. I remember when we used to drive, the speed limit used to be 40. The quality of the road speaks of volume. Number two, did you and I ever believe that center will send 100 rupees and it will reach in the pocket of the poor, the marginal? Now the direct benefit transfers helps that. The middlemen have been eliminated. The pain our sisters is to take to collect that money, and sometimes been humiliated and sometimes been even insulted. I think that has been done away. So the era is golden, very, very positive. And when you have center the state both with the same party, then there is another boost to the development. So I think it is very positive.
Okay, so Vinitji, you're not talking nonsense. I understand the logic with what you're talking, but that doesn't take away from my question. My question is, there are still going to be people in this country who just think that too much power by definition is a bad thing, who will say, and they'll rightly say, that you need a strong opposition in the country. Doesn't make a difference how well-meaning and hardworking an individual you are. How do you co-opt and convince those people that your party should keep winning, or rather the BJP should keep winning, and Narendra Modi should be given a freer hand than what he already has?
Probably then in that particular case, I will take a liberty to speak in Hindi one line. एक तरफ समझदार, दूसरी तरफ बचकाना. So when you see opposition getting into some small petty things, like the words which been used for the prime minister when they knew it, or maybe the ranting which they did against the majority religion here, that did not help. If they were serious, they should have talked about progress. They should have talked about the work done by them in Rajasthan, rather than hitting the religion here. Sanatan, okay. They were hitting others and they. So I'll tell you one simple thing, which if you see the Rajasthan itself, Bharatiya Janata Party has got 42 more seats than the earlier election, whereas Congress only lost 31 seats. So if you see, Bharatiya Janata Party has not only decimated Congress by 31, but it has also decimated BSP, RLD and other organizations. So that simply says that credibility is on one side and others. When I say others, it is not only Congress, but it is also BSP, RLD that is gone. Number two, now India is going to see two-party system. Look at Rajasthan, look at Madhya Pradesh, look at Chhattisgarh, look at Telangana. Regional parties, decisive parties, the parties which believed in caste, slowly they have been vanishing.
Okay, don't know. I wish I could predict the future, but I can feel something in my country that is different and something we can all be proud of. And if Modi is coach and captain, and at the time when you win the World Cup, and then so be it. More than happy to have him on board. But where does that leave everyone else and politics in this country? Let me quickly touch base with Shekhar before I get Mr. Joshi into this conversation. Shekhar, so where do we go from here? I was trying to ask this question. if we are talking about Amrit Kal, do we really understand it? Okay, when we are talking about a Hindu renaissance, what is actually happening? Because the next thing that is going to be headlines when you'll be back sitting with me will be in a month and a half time, when there will be a temple launch in Ayodhya. Okay, once upon a time it was the most divisive of issues, politically divisive, communally divisive, for decades and decades, a constant sore that festered. And here we are, there were no issues, we are moving on, and there doesn't seem to be some fundamentalism emerging as a direct result of it. So have we found a mature way of doing these things?
I think more than a mature way, I think the communication has been very clear. As we spoke about Amrit Kal, I think the Prime Minister and his cabinet have been talking about this for the last couple of years, and they just delivered on it. Now, one is in terms of communication, in terms of Amrit Kal, in terms of the state of India where it is right now. I think they are in overdrive mode, and we just have to keep merging forward. Now, in terms of the temple which is being made, that was a part of the manifesto, and so they've delivered on their promise. What was promised to the voter, they've delivered on that, and that's going to happen on Jan 22nd, 2024. Now, in terms of development, in terms of the roads, or in terms of what our fellow panelists are talking about, that represents an India which has just changed so fast in front of us. It's been so transformative, and that truly is leadership. Now, the opposition can surely learn from this. The opposition has a very, very important role to play. It's not that one man can decide what will happen in India. But the point of the matter is, he's doing his job well. He's professional about it. He's being diligent about it. Opposition also needs to wake up.
Yeah,
and
we expect the same from you.
do
Correct.
their job well.
Yeah, we expect
they can learn from this, and we can partner with them. I think that's really important. That partnership is really important. That for a democracy to thrive forward, for the media to thrive forward, I think it's very important that everybody works together.
No,
they work collaboratively.
in my
they should not
job,
grudgingly accept the fact that he's a prime minister.
In my job, I would love for somebody to tell me this is why you're wrong, because this is why it doesn't make sense, and here's what actually makes sense and might be a better idea. And you can totally relate to that. That's what you want to see happening. But I totally understand the opposition's job is to be nitpicking. I sympathize with it, but it's just the sad taste in the mouth. You're living abroad. These guys already think you are some snake charmer country. Okay, they don't see the highways. Let's face it. We know what Trump calls country like ours. Okay, until he came himself. And the worst is our own. And we talk about the diaspora, which is doing great service. But come on, how many cousins do we have? How many friends do we have who live in Manhattan? And they think of you as country cousins, bicharas, जिनके लिए वहाँ से थोड़े लैपटॉप खरीद के फ़ोन खरीद के ला दो, because तुम यहाँ पर कुछ मिलता नहीं है. We have these people. Every family has these people who, just because they live abroad, have a sense of superiority complex with the accent that they bring back with them. It's an issue. Let me get Mr. Joshi, who's been very patiently listening, and he's of course a politician, also an Indian. Mr. Joshi, first of all, what do you make of what has happened, the results that have come out today?
सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
हाँ जी, आ रही है. प्लीज, आपको क्या लग रहा है कि आज के जो नतीजे आए हैं, इससे क्या प्रभाव पड़ा है भारतीय राजनीति पे?
देखिए, एज ए पॉलिटिकल स्टूडेंट मैं सबसे पहले तो जो जीते हैं लोकतंत्र में उनको बधाई देना चाहता हूं. मैं बधाई देना चाहता हूं भारतीय जनता पार्टी को भी और कांग्रेस को भी. और भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने, जैसा कि आपको पता चला है, 3 जगह विजय प्राप्त कर गया और 1 जगह कांग्रेस ने जीती है. और मुझे 7 प्रश्न देना है, थोड़ा समय दीजिएगा. अन्य लोगों का भी, जो अन्य साथियों ने बात कही है, उनका भी जवाब देना, आपका भी जवाब देना है. मुझे पहले तो एक जो आज साहब से शुरुआत हुई, आपने कहा कि मोदी की गारंटी पर देश विश्वास कर रहा है. मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता, क्योंकि मेरे को मोदी जी ने गारंटी, मैं भी इस देश का नागरिक हूं. मैं एक पार्टी का कैंडिडेट से पहले मैं इस देश का नागरिक हूं, और हमारे बहुत सारे देशवासियों ने मोदी जी की इस गारंटी पर वोट देने का काम किया, जब उन्होंने कहा था कि 15 लाख आपके अकाउंट में आएंगे, 2 करोड़ नौकरी आएंगी, किसानों की आय दुगनी होगी और काला धन भारत आएगा. तो ये गारंटियां भी फेल होते हुए इस देश ने देखा है. अभी मैं नारी शक्ति की बात कर रहा था, एक हमारे साथी कह रहे थे नारी शक्ति की बात, तो हमने देखा है आदरणीय मोदी जी की सरकार में अब मणिपुर में क्या घटना घटी, हमारी पहलवान बेटियों के साथ क्या हुआ, कानपुर में माँ बेटी के साथ क्या हुआ, हाथरस में दलित बेटी के साथ क्या हुआ. तो ये बातें भी हमने देखी हैं. किसानों की बात आई थी, किसानों पर भी हमने देखा कि गृह राज्य मंत्री का बेटा अपनी थार से किसानों की हत्या कर देता है. 800 किसान मारे जाते हैं किसान आंदोलन में. ये भी इस देश ने देखा है. तो इसलिए मेरे को
तो
लगता है
जोशी जी, आपकी ओवरऑल सोच क्या है? क्या क्या देश टूट के गिरने वाला है या क्या देश प्रगति कर रहा है?
देखिए, हमारे साथी विनीत जी ने एक और बात कही थी, और उन्होंने कहा था कि क्षेत्रीय पार्टियां अब खत्म होने की ओर है। मतलब क्षेत्रीय पार्टी, विनीत जी हमारे अच्छे मित्र भी हैं। विनीत जी ने बोला कि क्षेत्रीय पार्टियों का अब अस्तित्व नहीं है। मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं, शायद विनीत जी को थोड़ा अध्ययन करना पड़ेगा ममता बनर्जी साहब से लेकर अखिलेश यादव जी से लेकर, और आप देखिए देश में तमाम, अभी भी आप देखिए बिहार में सत्ता किसके, क्षेत्रीय पार्टियों की है। और शिवसेना, उनकी सरकार चली गई लेकिन वो भी क्षेत्रीय पार्टी है। बीजू जनता दल भी क्षेत्रीय पार्टी है। थोड़ा सा उनको अपना राजनीति शास्त्र का अध्ययन बढ़ाया। मैं तो 30 साल से राजनीति शास्त्र का विद्यार्थी हूँ, और कल लगभग 3 दशक का मेरा पॉलिटिकल करियर है।
जोशी जी,
तो
आपने अपने पीछे अखिलेश जी की भी फोटो, डिम्पल जी की भी फोटो लगाई हुई है, दिख रही है, तो वो भी आगे बढ़े और तरक्की में करें। पर मेरा सवाल दूसरा था, क्या देश टूट के बिखर रहा है या देश में प्रगति हो रही है?
देखिए, देश जो चलेगा, एज ए पॉलिटिकल, मैं एज ए स्पोक्स पर्सन, एज ए पॉलिटिकल स्टूडेंट जरूर कह सकता हूं, देश तभी मजबूत हो सकता है जब लोकतंत्र मजबूत होगा, संविधान मजबूत होगा, तभी देश मजबूत होगा। और उसमें विपक्ष के लोगों के साथ भी इस तरह का जो व्यवहार है, जैसा भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है, सीबीआई ईडी का उनके खोल के, ताकि उनकी आवाज बंद हो जाए, इस तरह से तो देश मजबूत नहीं होगा। देश मजबूत तब होगा जब लोकतंत्र मजबूत होगा, अपने विपक्ष के लोगों का सम्मान हो। एक बात और कहना चाहता हूं, आज के रिजल्ट से हमने क्या सीखा? आपके रिजल्ट से हमने ये सीखा है, एज ए पॉलिटिकल स्टूडेंट हमने ये सीखा है कि अहंकार कभी भी होता है, वो ज्यादा होता है। माननीय कमलनाथ जी का अहंकार जीता है, कांग्रेस हारी है, लेकिन उनका अहंकार की विजय हुई। मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम से माननीय कमलनाथ जी को बधाई देना चाहता हूं कि उनकी अहंकार जीत गया और कांग्रेस हार गई। अगर उनका अहंकार नहीं होता तो आज परिणाम कुछ और होता। और
I'm sure Kamalnath ji would have been happier had he got 160 seats and not just the victory of his vision or soul or rather his cry, as you have said. But जोशी जी, देखिए, आपकी भी आपत्ति हुई है कांग्रेस के साथ, मध्य प्रदेश में ही हुई है कांग्रेस के साथ। अब ये इंडिया अलायंस की मीटिंग हो रही है 6 तारीख को। अब ये अलायंस में रह क्या गया है? अगर आप ये इलेक्शन इकट्ठे नहीं लड़ पाए तो 2024 कैसे इकट्ठे लड़ोगे?
देखिए, ये प्रश्न तो आपको मुझसे ज्यादा कांग्रेस को पूछना था, क्योंकि हमने तो उनको मध्य प्रदेश में बड़ा भाई माना था। बड़े भाई का कर्तव्य होता है कि छोटे का सम्मान की रक्षा करे, उन्होंने नहीं करी। लेकिन आपको बताना चाहता हूं उत्तर प्रदेश के हिसाब से, क्योंकि हम उत्तर प्रदेश के राजनीतिक दल है, वहां की सबसे बड़ी क्षेत्रीय पार्टी हम लोग है, तो निश्चित तौर पर वहां पर जो फैसला होगा वो माननीय अखिलेश यादव जी करेंगे या समाजवादी पार्टी करेंगे। क्योंकि अनुमान जो स्थिति समाजवादी पार्टी की मध्य प्रदेश में, वही सेम स्थिति कांग्रेस की उत्तर प्रदेश में। वहां पर कांग्रेस के पास कुछ भी ऐसा वोट बैंक से लेकर कार्यकर्ता से लेकर सबका हरास ही हरास है। वहां पर जो भी लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, हमारे नेता माननीय अखिलेश यादव जी लड़ रहे हैं। यहां पर फैसला हमारे हिसाब से होगा, जैसा मध्य प्रदेश में फैसला इनके हिसाब से हुआ था।
ओके, बीबी जोशी, वेरी एम्फैटिक, डोंट राइट ऑफ द रीजनल पार्टीज जस्ट येट, एंड यू नो इज ऑब्वियसली राइट. They are there and here to stay. Some of them might just become bigger parties. Arvind Kejriwal certainly hoping that he's going to become a bigger party. Okay, let me get Priya Cycle back in. So Priya, now here we are in the obvious question. I know there's still some one-upmanship regarding who's going to be CM and all, but the obvious question is there are 5 months left. Okay. Now, as the BJP, you have to also come up with something you can do in the last 5 months. How many report cards can you come up with? After all, statistics start sounding like statistics. You'll have the Ram Mandir, that will be nice visual opportunities. But I don't know if that's as emotive a subject as it once was. One doesn't know. So what can you come up with? And then consequently, if you're the Congress, in 5 months, what can you come up with?
Well, Rishabh, just one point I want to add is one does know, because even in Chindwara, which is Kamalnath's bastion, the people who one that spoke to, they were saying that we would have voted, we normally do vote for the Congress, but इस बार बीजेपी को वोट देंगे क्योंकि वो राम जी को सम्मान दे रहे हैं, उनको वापस घर लाए, और उनका जो बीजेपी कर रही, सॉरी कांग्रेस कर रही, बीजेपी कर रही है जो कांग्रेस ने नहीं किया था. So this, it is an emotive issue, and it is the final culmination of the whole Ram Janmabhoomi movement is going to be on 24th January when you're going to have all of us back again for the inauguration of the Ram Mandir. So that is going to be a big ticket. And if you see the build up of the poll narrative, whatever the Prime Minister may say, Vikas and all that, but at the end of the day, they were talking about every speech begins with Jai Shri Ram. We had chief ministers, cabinet ministers coming in campaigning in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. They were talking about Israel and Hamas, and they ended the speech by saying, "Hamare yahan ke Hamas ka kya hoga?" So that polarization, using Ram Mandir to polarize, is going to continue.
Fair
Let's
enough.
not be fooled by that, whatever the win is. Secondly, what else can the BJP do? What else can the Congress do? I think the bigger ticket is going to be what else can the Congress do? BJP will have the Ram Mandir. They're going to be having the budget session in February just before the polls start. They're going to be announcing a whole lot of welfare schemes. They've realized that welfare scheme like the Ladli Behna scheme has hit a home run. So they're going to be a whole lot more schemes, especially for the women, the marginalized. The Prime Minister himself
For sure.
said, "I don't believe in a caste system, but my system, my Jatiwad is people who are left behind, marginalized, whether it's the women or economically weaker sections. So there's going to be something for them. And what can be done quickly? It only can be done through welfare schemes. That's the mandate, and that has worked. You may not say it's Revdi, but it is Revdi culture. It is welfare schemes, and it is working in every state, and every party is doing it, not just the BJP.
Okay, so
that is what.
So if you just do the math, and if you talk about the Mudra loans and Jan Dhan accounts and the Awas Yojana, if you just do the mathematics, you would say that the BJP should be getting more crores. There are about 70 crore votes that will be counted, just over that, 700 million. So if the BJP does that, if everybody who we've done good for in terms of welfare scheme votes for us, they get 400 seats. But everybody doesn't vote for you, even if they've got a chat or a nalka because of you, and that's the troubling part of politics. But Priya, okay, last.
No, they believe in Rishabh. We saw what happened in Madhya Pradesh. The person, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Ladli Behna scheme started only in March.
Yeah.
By August, he increased the sum to 1250. And on Dhanteras, I was there in Bhopal. On Dhanteras, women were given money to spend. So the money that is there in your bank, in your pocket, is more than the money, has more value than the money that is being promised.
Then we
So the
promised.
opposition,
Correct.
Kamal Nath said, "I will match it. I will even." He
All
mentioned
right.
a larger sum, but they believe in the guy who's putting the money.
Who's
in the
already
pocket
put it there.
right
Okay,
now
so that
on
brings the
day.
second part of my question. Now, this time, 5 years ago, we were doing in the Congress Chaukidar Chor Hai, Rafael scam, and other things. Do you see these things coming back? Do they find some other scam to latch on to, some other slogan to latch on to, or do they have something else that they can come up with other than trying to outmatch the promises?
Rishabh, if they come up with another slogan to target Narendra Modi, then they have learned nothing from the last few elections. Calling him Chaukidar Chor hai, calling him the Rafael scam, saying कि Panauti hai, even that has not worked, it has backfired. Narendra Modi's credibility is intact with the voter, not even demonetization, not even a faulty GST, no economic misdemeanor, nothing can harm him. Whether China invades or not, whether he handled COVID badly or nicely, he still remains. People say, अगर कुछ भी चूक होगी, उनकी credibility ठीक है. His niyat and his credibility is intact. So the Congress would be really foolish if they start targeting him on his credibility. Instead, they should come up with a positive campaign, not a negative one against Prime Minister Modi, but a positive one as to what they stand for, what can they do better, what can they offer better in terms of economy, in terms of governance.
Yeah.
Now, governance is something this government has been lacking. This is something the Congress can actually, try and show a team, maybe a cabinet, a shadow cabinet, some image like that, to say these are the problems with the government, the economy, the economy. You've seen the dollar, you've seen the price of oil rise, whether through external causes or internal causes. There is a cause to worry. So this is something the Congress can tackle if they put together a good shadow cabinet. And this is something that will appeal to people: jobs, middle class, money, income. This is something that hits every home. So if they come up with a plan like that, maybe. But they have to get their message.
So that's taking a leaf out of Arvind Kejriwal's book. There's certain things the BJP does, Har Ghar Jhanda, and they're doing Har Haath Jhanda. So they have other ways of taking on the BJP. They seem to have learnt it better than the Congress and are both feeling the brunt of many things because of that. Let me quickly get Professor Nalapat back into this conversation. Professor Nalapat, let's then zoom out a little bit more. We already zoomed out to 2024. Okay, so let's zoom out at the moment of history that India is in. As the world is observing us, as they will be observing us in this general election, there are many out there who want things to go wrong, things to go awry. democracy can throw up all sorts of things. So what's the outer picture of how we are being viewed from around the world, how this election will be viewed in a few months?
Rishabh, I'd like to say that India is in a sweet spot. The reason is Cold War 2.0 between the United States principally and China. China was in a sweet spot with Cold War 1.0 between the United States and the USSR. And you have seen Prime Minister Modi leverage that. For example, you have seen the respect that he has been shown when he visited for the climate talks. I mean, he was welcomed by all the rulers of that particular area in a way that previous prime ministers, the last 2 or 3 prime ministers, were not. So the fact of the matter is, look, let's not look at everything that is done by this government through a communal lens. For example, Hamas. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 99% of Muslims will be against Hamas. So just by saying something about Hamas, you're not saying something about a community in which the overwhelming majority of people are completely, fiercely would not support Hamas in its act of terrorism. The Muslims, the Hindus, the Christians, the Sikhs, they're the same people. They have the same responses. Let's not put on one pair of glasses to look at Hindus, one pair of glasses to look at Muslims, and then look at any issue exclusively in Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, Buddhist terms. I think that is a trap which, frankly, the Congress party has fallen into. Whatever the government does, it looks through a communal lens. Now, Ram Temple. The reality is, like Makkah, Medina, and Al-Aqsa, the Kashi, Mathura, and Ayodhya are the 3 holy sites of the Hindus. The first priority of a free government in India in 47 should have been to restore them to the pre-Aurangzeb period, where the period when Shah Jahan and Jahangir were the Mughal rulers of India. That they didn't do. Why? Because they looked at oh my God, we can't touch a Hindu issue. We can talk about reforming Hindus. We can't talk about reforming anybody else. Now that was a mistake. You have to treat everybody equally. And, ad nauseum, you have yourself said that. We have all said that. Every government scheme, where is the tag saying only for Hindus or only for one particular community or a particular, not at all. It's for everybody. So the reality is, and today's speech, for example, where is the question of caste in this election? It didn't come up. We're talking about backward caste. This is the first time in India that you have somebody from a backward caste being the Prime Minister of India. And he's gone beyond caste. So please, Rishabh, my point is, let's avoid the trap of looking at all kinds of issues.
Let's look at the same. So fair enough. That's why I was looking at it from a completely different perspective. So let me anecdotally rephrase it. For people watching the broadcast, you would have seen the World Cup, you would have seen the IPL. Now, watching these, you would have seen that the sponsors of these events, major cricketing events, are Saudi Aramco, DP World, Emirates Airlines. Now, I understand why Emirates Airlines would want to sponsor a public event because they're an airline, they have customers. Saudi Aramco has no particularly customers than you and me. DP World, which is a port authority, doesn't really have to get me to buy something from them. So why are they investing here? This is the biggest, richest Islamic country where Saudi Aramco comes from. Used to be sending billions to Pakistan to actually needle you, are now wanting to invest in you. So that was the context of the question I was trying to ask Professor Nalapat. As we zoom out, is there, given the world tensions do exist and there are camps and global dimensions to this also, where does Narendra Modi in the modern context of India fit into all of this?
Rishabh, Narendra Modi is buying oil from Russia because it's being sold at a very cheap price. Now, for example, if you get oil at a cheap price, it's better for the people that you buy it. At the same time, there are no sanctions from the United States. At the same time, he has reinvigorated, along with Shinzo Abe, the Quad. He has done so many other things. I too, you too. He's talked about a Vladivostok-Chennai corridor. You were talking about Chennai correctly. The Chennai will be completely, remade if there is a Vladivostok to Chennai corridor. You're talking about a corridor from India to Europe via the Middle East, including Israel. These are revolutionary ideas and they are being carried out. But the point is, I'm not talking of you, frankly. I'm talking of people who, for example, believe, oh, Hamas, every Muslim will be supporting Hamas. Not at all. Muslims abhor terrorism, like Hindus do. That was the context in which I was saying it. And my point is, please, let's have trust in India as Indians, as the people of Bharat, as Bhartiyas. Let's not, let's not try and segment them and cut them. And any opposition party that does that, I am glad that they get a slap in the face now, even in the ruling party. And I'm sure they'll get a slap in the face.
So in that context, Vineet Goenka, which is a seemology we can sort of understand, doesn't mean that identity is not an important part of who we are. It certainly is. An Indian identity is an important part of who we are, and sometimes other identities can also be. But in a modern context, and let's take a good example of what became a talking point recently. Why would an heir apparent of a major party in Tamil Nadu be convinced? Somebody is convincing him. No, he has not thought of this himself. He has not woken up one morning and said that I am not only going to stand against Sanatan Dharma, I am going to abuse it in nothing. I'm not biting any words. I am going to say these are vermin, it's a disease, it's like dengue and it needs to be eradicated. Now, he is convinced that I can replicate Periyar, okay, in 2023. Why is he convinced? What does he see on the ground?
I think probably God help them. These people who thought that by abusing the majority in this country, they would make gains and appease the minority. But the minority also has seen the fruits of the democracy, the fruits of the development which has been happening. I'll give you one example. Before me, I think Priya was talking about Ram as an issue, and let me tell you, it is not only about emotive issues, it's not only emotion. Astha to hai, but it's also about existence. मेरा अस्तित्व की भी तो बात है उसके अंदर से. And third one is economy. I had a chance to go to Ayodhya last month and see the road which has been coming up, the number of hotels which have come up, number of opportunity of employment there. A small town now has become a big business hub. You go to Kashi, it is generating revenue there, employment there. You come to Mathura and you also see other circuits. You go to Sham temple in Rajasthan, or you go to Rani Sati temple in Rajasthan. All these temples there is a big economy. So it is not only emotion, it is about
Vineet Goenka, has the BJP under Narendra Modi convinced the Indian Muslim that we mean Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas? It's not a slogan, we mean it.
Else you would not have won in Bhopal, you would not have won in many parts of Rajasthan. Many parts of Rajasthan, the assemblies have sizable number of Muslims. I think, 2-3 things have gone very positive. The Triple Talaq bill also has set a narrative in the Muslim women. She always wanted to have some protection, and I think this consideration also has gone in favor of this thing. Number 2, let me give you these 4 things which I wanted to answer Professor Joshi. Sir, it is about rise of India. And how do I say rise of India? It's about revenue, infrastructure, strategy and engagement. Let me give you an example. Revenues have gone up because mobile production has gone up, and also the Ram temple gives you revenue. The infrastructure in the road, rail and the airport has tremendously gone up. I have never seen this kind of thing. Let me third talk about the strategic value, the surgical strike or buying of Rafale, the decision which was made, that has changed the strategic value. And last E of the rise is engagement. Did we ever see heads of the states of Italy, UK, UAE coming and meeting our president? And I'll give you one example specifically, Rishabh. US, 3 presidents, Obama, Trump and Biden, all 3 walking up and shaking hand. I have never remembered any Prime Minister of India getting this kind of welcome from...
there's a meme right now in Pakistan about spot our Prime Minister. Narendra Modi is standing in the front. Guess where our caretaker Prime Minister is. It's a very funny meme that's going on. Okay, if you'll allow me, I just want to do practical politics for a few minutes, and I think I have a compatriot in that in Priya Sehgal. So Priya, before we wind up the larger picture conversation, there's real politics going on. Madhya Pradesh, now Shivraj has delivered 160 plus seats. He himself has won his constituency by more than 1 lakh votes. Is he still in the race? Is he a person set to become a 5th term chief minister, or is it just too late?
I think, Rishabh, that is the most difficult question of this election. I think because as we all know, the Prime Minister did not want to make Shivraj a CM face, but he had to because halfway through he realized that Shivraj is not as unpopular as he thought he would be. Given this stupendous win, a lot of it is to do with Shivraj's schemes. How can he deny him? But at the same time, he does want a regime change. He wants a new, younger face coming in. And he also, I don't think he wants to give Shivraj the whole credit. Otherwise, फिर पंगा क्यों लेते हैं? पहले से if he is going to make him the chief minister, why antagonize him in the first place? So that is a question I don't want to hazard a guess. I've been wrong many times with this prime minister, so I'm going to leave it. It's going to be a very tough call. I'm waiting to see what will happen to Shivraj.
Okay, all right. Quick thoughts on Rajasthan.
Rajasthan, Vasundhara. No, I don't think he will make Vasundhara. I'm pretty sure of that. That I'm sure of. She was not the sitting CM also, no? And plus there was this rebellion. She's been taking him on every turn. So I think she will have
so it's either Gajendra, a lot of people are saying Diya Kumari as compromise candidate. We don't know. Yeah, Priya, finish your thought quickly.
No, there's Balaknath, the Yogi Balaknath. He could also be. He's in the shape of Yogi Adityanath, the same model. He's also a Mahan from the same sect. And we are also entering into this whole, Hindutva era. So I think he could be another face. Let's not rule him out.
Okay, quick thoughts then on Chhattisgarh. Raman Singh?
Arun Sahu, the MP, and also the PCC, the local BJP chief.
Yeah, we just spoke to him. He was pretty equanimous, and we don't know what all of that means. Okay. Quick thoughts. I'll leave the last quick word with BB Joshi. Mr. Joshi, 6th December, is the Congress the undisputed leader of the India alliance still?
आपको आवाज आ रही है? हेलो, आपको आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ जी, कांग्रेस पार्टी के अभी भी इंडिया अलायंस की अनडिस्प्यूटेड लीडर रहेगी कि आपकी मांगे बढ़ेंगी?
देखिए सर, हम बहुत समय से राजनीति में हैं। हम लोग तो वर्तमान की बात करते हैं। आज वर्तमान पे चर्चा कर ले, भविष्य की बातें भविष्य में तय हो जाएंगी। लेकिन आज समझना पड़ेगा कि आज परिणाम कुछ अलग होता, सुगंध कुछ और होती, हवा कुछ और होती, और आप हमें भी बधाई दे रहे होते अगर कुछ लोगों का अहंकार अगर साथ में नहीं आता। और निश्चित तौर पर मैं कहना चाहता, निश्चित तौर पे जो पीडीए की लड़ाई है, जाति इस देश का सच है। और मैं कहना चाहता हूं, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के भी उप मुख्यमंत्री ने कह दिया है कि हम जाति के विरोधी नहीं है, जातिगत जनगणना के, ये सेंटर का मामला है। क्योंकि उनको पता है अगर वो जाति जनगणना का विरोध करेंगे, उत्तर प्रदेश में उनके सहयोगी लोग उनको आंख दिखाएंगे, चाहे वो पटेल मैडम हो, चाहे वो राजभर जी हो, चाहे उनके निषाद जी हो, क्योंकि वो लोगों को भी अपने अस्तित्व को जीना है।
Okay, so we've done, ladies and gentlemen, December 3rd is now coming to a conclusion. The results are emphatic. There is no resort politics required. And the BJP has done, even by their own best estimations, better, phenomenally better than they would have hoped for. We've discussed the minutiae through the day. We've discussed the numbers. We've heard the people. We've heard all the top leaders, some who won, who lost. We've heard all political parties, including the Congress party, which has had much to say, and they've sat with us all day. We've discussed the larger picture. We've discussed Narendra Modi. Before we wind up, here is another man of the moment, whom, let's face it, a lot of people had discounted, but he has delivered something very remarkable, which be difficult to ignore in the next couple of days as sensitive decisions are taken. Shivraj Chauhan talking to us. Listen in.
चौहान इस वक्त हमारे साथ मौजूद है। सर, इंडिया न्यूज आईटीवी नेटवर्क की तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। प्रचंड बहुमतों से बीजेपी ने एक बार फिर से मध्य प्रदेश में सरकार बनाई है, क्या प्रतिक्रिया?
जनता का प्यार और आशीर्वाद भरपूर मिला। अगर जनता की सेवा दिल से करते हैं और प्रदेश के विकास को ठीक ढंग से किया जाता है तो लोगों का प्यार और आशीर्वाद मिलता है। प्रधानमंत्री जी के प्रति श्रद्धा और विश्वास, उनका आशीर्वाद और डबल इंजन की सरकार के काम, इन दोनों कामों पर जनता ने भरपूर समर्थन दिया है। समाज के हर वर्ग के कल्याण के काम हमने किए हैं और सबका, भांजे भांजियों का, किसानों का, गरीबों का, लाडली बहनाओं का, सबका प्यार हमको मिला।
2008 में लाडली लक्ष्मी, 2023 में लाडली बहना, और इस बार बहनों ने भाई का साथ दिया और 150 सीट बीजेपी संगठन कह रहा था, लेकिन अब तो 160 के ऊपर बीजेपी पहुंच चुकी है।
मुझे तो ये दिखाई देता था कि हम लोग अभूतपूर्व विजय प्राप्त करेंगे, क्योंकि जनता का स्नेह सड़कों पर दिखता था, जहां जाते थे वहां प्यार उमड़ता था। नेता और जनता नहीं थे, हम परिवार के सदस्य थे। तो उस प्यार और आशीर्वाद को देख के लगता था जैसे बहनें गले लगती थी, माथा चूमती थी, सिर पे हाथ फेरती थी, उनकी आंखों में आंसू आ जाते थे और वो कहती थी भैया अपन जीतेंगे। तो इसी का परिचायक था। मैं अभी देख रहा था कई सीटें तो ऐसी है जो 200, 300, 400 इसके बीच में गई, नहीं तो ये आंकड़ा तो पहुंच जाता 180 के पार।
सर मतलब कमलनाथ दिल्ली और भोपाल से दिल्ली के लिए उड़ान भरने वाले।
मैं सकारात्मक राजनीति करता हूं, मैं अपने सकारात्मक काम की बात करता हूं, दूसरों पर कोई टिप्पणी मैं नहीं करता।
आप कब शपथ लेंगे सर? आखिरी शपथ
भारतीय जनता पार्टी तय करेगी।
बिल्कुल। मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान का ये कहना है कि मुख्यमंत्री चेहरे को लेके भारतीय जनता पार्टी का संगठन और केंद्रीय नेतृत्व तय करेगा। कैमरामैन अजय कटियार के साथ कुलभूषण सक्सेना, इंडिया न्यूज भोपाल।
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.